to the Dangerville podcast.
Like we always do about this time.
It's Friday night. You are
The greatest show of all time.
Alright, in with that.
There we go.
What's up, man? Thank you for coming over.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You doing Laugh Fest tonight after the show?
Tonight at 10 p.m.
Where are you going up?
I'm at Dr. Grin's
Okay.
for the Dirty Show. The
Gotcha.
Deggy's
Right.
hosting,
Yeah,
so.
we were just talking about that. Like fucking like Deggy and tons of people that have been on the podcast are on that show, and we were like, I wonder if he's on that lineup too.
Yeah.
and like we were like, fuck, like
Yeah.
wait, maybe we should go.
Well, so when's this episode coming out?
This will come out probably a week from now, or something like that.
It doesn't really matter if I say this.
You just gonna talk shit about everybody.
Fuck all these guys. I'm never coming back to Grand
Off the
Rapids.
presses. Spill the tea.
I'm an East Side comic now. No, I apparently Dan Soder might be closing it out.
Nice.
And I will, if he is, I will be going right before him. And if he's not, then I'm last.
Okay.
So those are two
Dang.
super different spots. But
right.
either way, I'm not following Soder. So that's,
Yeah.
So that'll be the second most prestigious thing you will be a part of this evening.
Yes.
Yeah, after this, you know.
Yeah, when this episode comes out, check to see if I posted a photo with Dan Soder, or if I have no photos out, and you'll know.
Or if it's just a photo with us.
We'll just be like, hey, that's a nice podcast. Dangerville podcast.
Yeah, that's right, sir.
Nice, dude. Where'd that come from?
The name's sort of a long, weird story. I
It's a long and wildly unentertaining story.
I did this kind of comedy rap album a couple years ago, and my fake rap name is Boss Danger.
Yeah.
And Shave Man, he was on it and stuff. And then we kept fucking around with that, but then like we were just like, we're hilarious, we should do a podcast. And so it just turned into that, and like
Much to the delight of tens of listeners across the greater West Michigan area.
so the name Dangerville was like the fake record label that Boss Danger was supposed to be on. So it just became I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It's literally nothing.
Yeah,
it just means nothing.
but there's a reasoning how you landed on it.
Sort of.
Basically mooching off of the Conan O'Brien "Gimme a Breaksville" skit from back in the day, essentially.
So the podcast that I have with Louis Michael is called Chinese Rocket Force, and the only reason it's called that is we were recording the first episode. We didn't know what we were going to call it at the time.
Protect Our Parks was taken.
Our second idea was the Joe Rogan Experience. It turned out there was already
Copyright.
something with that name. And then like at the end of the episode, he was like, "You ever heard of the Chinese Rocket Force?" And I was like, "No, but that should be the name of the podcast."
Yes,
we
it
laughed.
should. Yeah.
And that was it. And now it's such a mistake because we're 52 episods in, and we have to we'll tell people what it's called, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then they'll ask me like, "Are you Chinese?" I'm like, "No." And that'll happen, and I'll lie to people a little bit. Last night, Gianmarco Cerezi, I was like trying to, I was like sweet talking him into coming on, and I was like, it's called CRF. And I was like, what does that stand for? I was like, doesn't matter what it stands for.
It's called the DEI podcast.
It's the DEI podcast. We need an Italian guy on to level things out.
I caught an episode today. Trying to listen a little bit. Super funny, by the way.
Thank you.
How'd you and your buddy get hooked up there? How'd you guys start doing it together?
Oh gosh, Louis and I. Well, we go back since I started comedy. I started comedy like 2017, and we were just both in the Lansing scene. And I think he has like an automatic kind of like big brother energy with people that he likes. So because Louis is like 7 years older than me, so he kind of like took on that role, I guess. And we've just been I don't know, we've just been good buddies since then. And it was like a year ago, we were at the Traverse City Comedy Fest, and I think we were respectively 8 to 12 beers deep at karaoke after one of the late shows, and he was like, dude, we should start a podcast.
Exactly. That's the origin story of every single
all
podcast.
great podcasts are
Yeah, we were
born.
hammered, and we were like, hey, you want to do a podcast? All right.
Yeah, and then 4 episodes in, realizing it might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my mom listens, and I don't want to disappoint her.
I told my mom specifically. She was like, "Oh, can I listen?" I'm just like, "No." You're not gonna want to do that.
Yeah.
That would be a poor idea on your part.
I try to forget my mom listens, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do a podcast like I would. I don't want my mom to control me in my adult life. And every now and then I'll still, like Louis will like try to bring up my sex life, and I'm like, dog. Like, let's talk about yours. Let's not talk about mine.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
So you guys are like 40 some episodes in or so.
50. I think we recorded 52
Oh, wow,
last
okay.
night. Yeah. So
We're up over 100. No big deal. Not a competition. How long have you guys been doing it for? Like, you doing a weekly deal or doing
Yeah,
a
it's
couple
weekly.
times? Okay.
It's a weekly thing, and then we started a Patreon like a month ago, and so we do like an extra half hour for every single episode on there.
Nice.
But you guys have like a real studio. We have a nomadic podcast, so Louis just has his sound equipment and his camera, and the sound equipment is just like a little pod track, and wherever the two of us can be, we'll do it there. Well,
That's
if not,
fun, though.
we'll do it remotely. But you guys you're set up. You have multiple camera angles.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
But we don't promote this at all.
It's a real secret.
Yeah, it's the secret. It's what's the Matt and Shane secret podcast?
Yeah,
It's a real
yeah.
cult of personality.
I was just gonna say, this sounds like the Matt and Shane setup. It's like they literally throw a thing on the table and they're like, good enough.
Yeah, we have the Matt and Shane set up without any
Yeah.
of their success. Which is like, for them, it's like cute because you're like, oh, it's cute. They're famous.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
There's kind of lo-fi. And then we're just like, no, this is what we have. This is exactly what we're dealing with. But
Putting together the studio was like, that's kind of the fun of it for me.
I'm sure it
I'm
is.
a little bit obsessed with that kind
Are these books all like
I've read
unread,
every
yeah.
one of these.
Absolutely.
Every single one.
one of these I can give you a
Oh my
detailed book
gosh.
report on right now.
I love it. You're a sci-fi guy.
So yeah, there's a lot of vintage sci-fi here and up here. And then there's a bunch of books in the other room too, but yeah, those are all the paperback sci-fi.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've read precisely none of those. Maybe one or two, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I like. Did you intentionally crease all the spines to make them look red?
Yeah.
It's a veteran move for
You know
sure.
what I
It's a
love
good
about
look.
that shit though is that it's actually the cover art on all those books.
Oh, yeah.
that's amazing.
No, that's the thing. Is like all the supposedly great books don't have any memorable cover art. you know?
What's up with that?
Like Catcher in the Rye, I just remember like some oranges and reds. I don't know
it's
what's
just
on
a
there.
solid orange or whatever on
but
that.
all of these are like epic covers, you know?
paintings and shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
Soak that
feel
shit
like
in. It's
the
great.
lack
Probably-
of cover makes it stand out. I was at Barnes & Noble the other day, and the only thing that stood out was something with a predominant lack of color, just like a basic black thing or whatever. Because, it's just a sea of fucking
Minimalist.
over-the-top covers.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like
Awesome
Ben
transitions.
Hur up here. Like, there should be like a really silly animated.
Well, that's how they-
like,
Were you guys like video store kids? Were you like Blockbuster?
Oh, yeah.
Sure,
Like
for sure.
that was the trick to getting me to see like all the shitty movies that I watched, because
Yeah.
the stuff that had the coolest covers were
For
like
sure, man.
Ghoulies,
Yeah.
you know.
Way
Like,
back in the
Battlefield
day, dude.
Earth. This looks promising.
yeah.
Way back in the day when it was
with John Travolta
VHS,
from Look Who's
though, dude.
Talking.
The VHS covers were fucking just outstanding. So it was
Yeah.
like horror movie shit. It was just like so bad, so awesome. You know?
I was
The
always
horror
afraid
movie
of the
posters on-
leprechaun.
yeah.
The Leprechaun.
Yeah, it would always
Still
scared
am.
me. When I was a kid, I'd walk by and be like,
No, that's I got it. All those Leprechaun movies. At this point, he's like, I kind of like him because he's one of those guys. We don't really make horror movies where the bad guy quips anymore.
Yeah, right.
They're always so dead serious, and it's like that guy. Chucky, Freddy Krueger. They were comedians
They
first.
all turn into they turn into that. The first one's always like serious, but then by like number 4,
They become a
it's just
clown.
Like, yeah.
Freddy Krueger's like literally doing like Wile E.
cracking
Coyote
jokes.
gags on these people, and he's killing for the record, like figuratively speaking,
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, comedy first, keep the politics out of it. Just by that I mean the murder, and like just have fun.
Yeah, we watched Leprechaun in the Hood on the podcast every Halloween.
Arguably the finest of all the Leprechaun movies, which is a
Lep in
pretty
the Hood, up to no
Lep in
good.
the Hood,
Who
dude.
does
You
that?
know what's up,
Dude,
dude.
I've seen
it
all the
was
Leprechaun.
phenomenal.
It's the shit, dude.
I had seen it once before, back in the day, but oh my god, dude, watching it again, I was like, this is the best movie ever
Scary
made.
good
by
fun,
mutants,
dude.
Surprisingly,
So good.
like not as racist as that movie could have been. I've always tried to.
still quite racist. No, I mean, like that was the whole like joke behind it. It's just like,
Well, it
That
is
movie,
racist. Yeah. No, all things considered, definitely racist.
It really
but could have
boils
been
down
worse.
to the subtext of the inner city struggle was what I found most
right,
gripping
yeah,
about
right,
the
yeah.
film at the end of the day.
I like I just try to do a bit about those movies about how it's like what's about how like you always know the quality of a horror franchise based on how long it takes them to go to space, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So Leprechaun,
first you go to the hood,
Right.
next you're in space.
well, Leprechaun goes to space, then he goes to the hood,
Oh,
and then they
okay.
were like, "Well, we've blown our ideas." So then he just goes to the fucking hood again.
Yeah, no, there's not
Next
no Lep in the Hood 2.
Right, Leprechaun back
Oh
to
my
the hood.
god, dude.
Like they use,
TOO,
they use like
yeah.
the Spike Lee
Yes,
phrasing.
Yep. Which I don't think I ever saw that one. I don't think even I went that deep. On
Yeah, no, it
Lep
was
and
really they really desecrated the
back
name of
to the hood.
I love how that came later on the docket. Like that's the more preposterous of the scenarios.
Where
Like
we
we
go
can
after
easily
space.
envision him in space with
Yeah.
the hood. This is really going to push the boundaries of this.
Oh,
one.
wow.
I don't
This
think
is
I've ever actually seen
Yeah, I remember
this.
this
This
was
is
like a
shown.
princess.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. Warwick
God.
Davis, great actor. Really,
Wait, that's Warwick
Yeah, he's
Davis?
the-
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Leprechaun, dude. That's like his most famous thing.
He was like before Peter Dinklage. He was like the dwarf
he was
actor.
the only one, yeah.
And one thing I appreciate about these movies, even though they're all pieces of shit, is I mean he's great in them, and he's also like. I mean, it's the only time he was like the guy in a series of movies. Like, there's a franchise of movies where Warwick Davis
He's
is like the lead.
he's
you know?
Willow. And do you ever see
He's
Willow?
Willow. Yep. That's true. He's
yeah.
Willow. And then brought Willow back, and then they deleted
They
it forever.
didn't
Yeah,
they?
it was
think.
not good. It
No?
was not good.
Yeah.
They did like a brand new series, like, and then
Right,
it was bad.
right.
You
That's
could
gone.
do worse than the Leprechaun in terms of having something to hang your head on.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
for
dude,
sure.
You're the Leprechaun. Yeah. Well, same with
Ridiculously
You
oversized.
guys
hat.
ever go to like a horror convention?
I
And they're
have
like-
been. I've been to one. My wife had paintings at a horror convention in Baltimore, and we met all kinds of fucking inappropriate B actors, dude. Just
Right.
the best.
No, it's crazy because there's definitely a hierarchy there.
Yeah,
They'll be like,
yeah.
oh, here's Robert England, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
somebody who played like an iconic character, and then there's like,
Yeah.
here's a lady who showed her boobs in Halloween.
Yeah. Here's the chick with three
know?
tits. from,
Ironically, that line far longer than the Robert England line for the autograph.
So he's
side
like,
of the machine.
I really liked you in the movie. It's very cool. Like,
Yeah, we met Danny Trejo. That was probably the
Oh, that's
biggest
sick.
name there. That was cool.
Yeah.
And who else? We met Jason Mewes there, which is real random.
yeah, he's a
Because
I
he's
feel
in like a couple horror movies.
the Kevin Smith first guys tend to be at those types of
Yeah,
things,
for
but
sure.
Kevin doesn't show.
No.
Kevin's got better stuff.
He's got
going
bigger
on, I
fish
guess.
to fry.
And we met
Yeah.
that dude who's like that super skinny tall dude who plays all the fucking like creatures and shit, whose name I
Doug
can never.
Jones.
Yes, I can never remember his name, and it's surprising
He's,
how everybody knows who he is.
Al Sapien and Hellboy, and he's Shape of Water.
everything, dude. Yeah, he's just we met
The
that
Bye-Bye
dude.
Man.
Yeah, and then Tom Savini. Do you know who that is?
Oh yeah, the makeup guy.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we met him too. Yeah.
He's a legend. He's a
And others.
Midwestern legend. He's from Pittsburgh.
Oh, is he? Okay, I did
yeah.
not know that. Damn, you got mad Tom Savini knowledge. Yeah, that dude.
I'm a huge
Dude, how
in there.
bummed was Warwick Davis when he got dethroned by Dinklage as the go-to little
Indeed.
person?
We gotta let him fight it out.
Game of Thrones is one Warwick Davis short of
He's like,
being
I thought
up
I was
there.
gonna get the Tyrion role. It's like, dude, you're like 80. He's got to be pretty old now, right?
It's funny
But you'll
because
never know, you know?
Yeah, he's
I
always
can't-
in makeup.
I mean, hey, to his credit, look, I never finished Game of Thrones. I've seen every single Leprechaun movie, so
There you go. There you go. There you go.
You know?
They should have just had him as the leprechaun playing Tyrion Lannister.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Full leprechaun makeup. Like nobody mentions it. We don't
Leprechaun's
say a
just,
word.
his next
It's
scheme is to
just a
do
leprechaun.
prestige TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
for my next scheme,
That would be huge. They need to like reboot the Leprechaun.
it'd be really funny
you
because
know?
the Leprechaun's whole thing is like he just wants gold. So if his final plan was like, I just get a job.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe I can buy gold. And like just becomes a regular hardworking
He's just
citizen.
obsessed with Bitcoin now.
Dude, tech for a leprechaun?
The Techricon, dude.
Yeah.
he drives a green Tesla.
Oh God.
He's doing a rhyme about NFTs.
He's about to pull the rug on his meme coin. He doesn't kill people. He just steals their investments.
I was thinking though, the dude when we were talking about like owning it, the dude who plays Chucky as well,
Brad Dourif.
yeah, who's like a pretty fucking serious actor in a lot of big shit.
Oscar winner
Yeah.
for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you know, Lord of the Rings, all these fucking huge
Right.
movies. And but also it's still just he literally like owns the rights to that franchise and shit now.
Wow.
Yeah.
He should, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
the
Chucky.
character.
He's just like, I'm Chucky.
Did you know like Sylvester Stallone doesn't own Rocky?
Yeah, that adds up. I would imagine. Well, I mean, like
And
that's like
it's-
studio property.
It's
you
probably
know?
studio property. It also might have something to do with him being like a dumb Italian guy, didn't know how to do it. But no disrespect to Sylvester Stallone. He's
Oh,
my
mad
hero.
disrespect.
He fought very hard to get control of the franchise. I just couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying. Sylvester, you got any problem with us taking control of the...
Dude, I remember seeing Expendables 2 in theaters, and I was like, this movie needs subtitles, dude. You got like Stallone and Schwarzenegger and like
Yeah.
Jet Li. I'm like, all right.
I mean, but what's more interesting than going down the rabbit hole of Steven Seagal's free time?
Dude.
you
You
just
are
don't.
talking to this Seagal like
Are you obsessed
expert.
with it? Yeah.
He's maybe my favorite guy in the world. Dude.
Yeah.
I love that he's an Aikido master, which
Yeah.
means you
The most
can.
useless of all martial arts. If you're ever attacked on a street by a man with a sword, here's what you're doing. Like,
No,
sweet,
but his
dude.
movies taught me like, oh, you got like you just grab a pool stick, you know, whatever you need to do.
Right,
But
yeah.
what's amazing about this, and this is young Seagal here, but what's great with Aikido is it's all like in the wrists and it's redirecting force, so you can really be good at it and still also be like extremely obese.
He's just shoving guys out of the way.
He doesn't like
this. He's like,
he doesn't get cardio really. He doesn't lift. So like now he looks
this is
like
the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. This is go-
They're also
Yeah.
like, that's you're not actually attacking him.
this is like an Emperor's New Clothes type of thing where they're like
look
all
at him.
kind of pretending.
This is incredible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Remember,
It's
he's a great actor.
Well, yeah, he's a
Right,
dramatic actor, and he does disappear into his roles. He kind of like, he has that Italian run, and he plays an Italian guy in Out for Justice, and he's all like, "Hey, anybody seen Richie?" and then he has a lot of the movies. He's like vaguely trying to be Asian, which I really like because he considers himself Asian, and then. I think in his late stage, which we're in right now, I want to say, I don't think we're in the middle stage anymore, but he just talks black most of the time. It's very like, oh, what's going on, brother?
move overseas or
He's in
something. Wasn't he
Russia.
like a cop?
Yeah, he
or
lives in
something?
Russia, dude.
Wow.
He was a cop in Louisiana for a bit.
Okay, yeah, that was a different era.
Steven
Yeah.
Seagal.
Also
Yeah.
adopting and code switching to the mad Cajun accent after like a week
Yes,
there. It's like, oh,
yeah,
Well, he's
yeah.
a blues musician. Did you
Yeah.
ever listen to his album?
I have caught some of
Songs
his
from the
music,
Crystal
yeah.
Cave or
Yeah.
something.
There's that song. There's like he does that reggae song that's like "Me Wanna Punani"
Yeah.
or something. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah. Good
Classic song.
God, dude.
Seagal owns it ridiculous,
Indeed.
right? Dude, the guy's the
To be
man.
fair, Under Siege kicks ass.
Under Siege, dude. I mean, the golden period, the early run is great.
Yeah.
I love Out for Justice. I like,
Talking Glimmer Man with DMX.
Glimmer-
or whatever.
dude,
Is that
have
what
you-
it
No,
was?
Exit
No,
Wounds,
Glimmer Man.
baby.
Exit
Exit
Wounds was
Wounds,
DMX.
DMX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a DMX trilogy of that, Cradle to the Grave, and Romeo Must Die.
What was Glimmer Man?
Glimmer Man
that-
was Keenan Ivory Wayans was his co-star. in
Come
that.
on, I ain't far off. Come on.
There's a great story of that movie where he was like, while they were filming that movie, and I think Keenan Ivory Wayans told this, they were like, the Dalai Lama said that Steven Seagal was a reincarnation of an old Buddhist monk.
Yeah.
And so it went straight to his head, and on set he's
course.
like, the Dalai Lama in all his excellence has said that I'm the reincarnation of a monk, and I think I want to live my life in a more peaceful, gratifying way. And then somebody goes like, Mr. Seagal, your ex-wife is on the phone. She said you can't have the kids this week. He's like,
In fairness, when you get the nod of approval
Yeah.
from the llama,
Dude,
like
if the
you're gonna go
llama's-
a little
oh,
bit
man,
ham.
I
say whatever I
You're gonna be
want to my
feeling
ex-wife,
yourself a
dude.
little bit at that point, dude.
If the Dalai Lama gave me the fucking nod, dude, it would be over, dude. I'm wearing robes.
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole deal, dude.
oh, does their stepdad know the Dalai Lama? I don't think so. I get him this weekend.
By the way, I would pay an infinite amount of money to have been a fly on the wall during the pitch for Exit Wounds 2 through 3. Just like, we simply can't wrap this story up with DMX in but one film. It's not going to get the job done.
Oh no, so it's like an unofficial trilogy where it's like the same director and all three movies.
okay, yeah.
It's like the Dollars
Yeah, I
trilogy.
get
So
it,
you got
yeah,
DMX in all the movies, and then also Anthony Anderson and Tom
Yeah.
Arnold. Are in
That's
all
a
three
young
of those
Katherine
movies.
Heigl right there, by the way, which I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
That is
Is this Under Siege?
inappropriate.
Which one's this?
Under Siege.
Under Siege Dark Territory 2.
Yeah,
You
Under
guys have
Siege
heard
2,
about his
Gary Busey.
Yeah, the first one has a murderous row of bad guys because you got like Gary
it's Tommy
Busey
Lee
and Tommy Lee Jones.
Dude, yeah, that's huge.
That's a big
Yeah,
lineup.
that movie was huge.
Soak in the steely glare of fucking Seagal right here, by the way.
This was
He
like
doesn't care.
he kind of fixed.
Look
his
at it, he just
hairline.
throws the gun
Yeah,
down.
he is unconcerned with the
Yeah,
prospects
what
of
are you
this
gonna do?
bad guy
Attack him? He
besting
knows
him.
a
Yeah.
keto or whatever, dude. What are you gonna do about it?
He's got to close the distance.
No, when the kids say the word aura, they're referring to this type of thing that Seagal has.
I love that all you
does have
need to
aura.
defeat Steven Seagal's martial arts style is a reasonable distance.
Or a gun.
Yeah, just a gun.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear you say that within getting 4 feet of me.
If you watch the stuff he puts out now, which now he looks like late stage Orson Welles, you know, he's like, and it's crazy because he does everything he can. He wears sunglasses, he wears these big untucked black robes, and he still looks obese. Like he's not hiding it at all. And sometimes he just doesn't get out of his chair. Like he'll be like sitting down in a scene, and a guy comes over, and he'll just go, and then like, I'm like, that
I'm not
rules.
standing up for this. Mr. Seagal, could you stand up for this scene, please? I'm not standing up.
I mean, you could look at him as him being too big to get out of his chair, or it could surely be a sign of the mastery of his craft.
Well, I think, and
He's transcended having to stand up to kick ass.
the magic of movies is that it's sort of like in Muppet movies when people pretend that the humans and the Muppets are the same. They don't acknowledge like, hey, you're a Muppet.
Right,
In the new Seagal movies, he's like a 70-year-old fat guy, and they're always like, we got to get our best guy. And then he shows up, and he's like talking up a 30-year-old, woman, and nobody's acknowledging what he looks like.
I mean, Seagal's still slinging dick at that age, I would imagine.
Yeah, well,
without
I
question.
don't know if it's consensual all the time. Did you ever hear about his SNL episode?
No.
Infamous. He was like
No.
famously the worst host, and he,
That adds up. I mean,
yeah, you gotta listen. Like David Spade and them would talk about like when they were like working on the sketches. He was they did like a Hans and Franz sketch, and they were
my
like,
God,
the
yeah.
sketch was gonna be Hans and Franz were gonna be like, oh, Steven Seagal is not as tough as Arnold. And then Seagal got so mad, and he was just like, Hans and Franz couldn't beat me up, and then he like locked himself in the office.
Dude, Steven Seagal went on a talk show to talk shit about how he could kick Van Damme's ass.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this one? Dude?
Yeah. It was Arsenio Hall.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's the
yes.
greatest thing. I think I did know about that, actually.
That's
so good.
hilarious.
It's so cool. And then Seagal or Van Damme, who also rules.
Rules.
There's him doing an interview like not that long ago, and they were like, "Oh, who should be in the Expendables movies?" And they're like, "I think Steven Seagal. It would be good. I like him. He doesn't like me, but I think he'd be good. He should just lose a little weight, you know." And he's like, he's so catty, dude. He's such a little bitch. This Van Damme, because he's like making it look like a compliment, but he's like, "I think if he loses a little weight, he can move better."
Indeed.
I'm like, wow, dude.
I could make an argument. Bloodsport might be my favorite movie ever.
Bloodsport
Kicks ass in an indomitable
The
rate.
best.
a true story. Frank Dukes.
Yeah,
a real
true
man.
story. Yeah. The best Van Damme movie though is Hard Target.
Yes, I agree. A New Orleans movie.
The most fucking uncalled. What's the dude? Is it the diabetes dude?
Yeah,
Wilford
Brimley.
Is it Brimley? Who's like his
plays
like
the Cajun
Uncle
guy.
Cajun / trainer, old man guru dude or whatever. Oh my god,
You got
dude!
Lance Henriksen is the evil.
Is he the bad
Yeah,
guy?
bro.
Because it's like a most dangerous game, like hunting people.
and he's got a straight up mullet,
yes.
a hardcore mullet.
Dude, there's this scene where he gets attacked by a snake, and he punches the snake.
He punches the snake.
He grabs it?
from the tree,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Ah!"
and the snake even does a little cartoony, like
Yes.
like
Oh
when it's
my God.
passing out.
It's so good.
We do not make movies like in an
I
hour
know.
and 37 minutes, like because they said everything they needed to say
Yeah,
at that point.
I gotta rewatch this. This movie just kicks ass.
If you watch this movie and the second it's especially at a time where like there was no like denouement, there was no like epilogue, it would end the second like the bad guy's dead.
Yeah.
And it just kicks on. I think Born on the Bayou by CCR comes on and the credits come on and you're like, oh my God, this is the best movie of all time.
It really
get
kicks
out,
ass.
get shit
He
done.
plays a homeless dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my god.
I like how
So
back then you could wear like a tucked in
jean shirt,
and that
into
looked
your
cool.
jeans with your mullet.
Yeah.
This is just good.
Have you
John
seen
Woo.
this?
Yeah, not for many moons.
This
Is
is
it John? Yeah,
John
that adds
Woo,
up, yeah.
who didn't have like his American career kind of fell short, but this was like the one out of all of his American
there
movies.
we go. There's a lot of big name actors in this shit though.
Yeah.
Apparently, like Van Damme's coke habit was so out of control that he was like making literally millions of dollars making all these movies. But that's why he made so many movies. It was because he was doing so much coke, and he was doing all the coke so he could make all the movies. Because he was like, it
was a vicious cycle for
Did you
Van
really?
Damme
Over
back
the course of
then.
the last year, his Twitter was hacked because it was like he had a guy running his Twitter, and then the guy I guess just went rogue and started posting like, "I'm Van Damme, I'm a piece of shit, I make bad movies."
That's the best.
And Van Damme like didn't know how to get it back for the longest. So it's not even like it was hacked through intelligence. It's like he, I guess, was a dick to the guy who like ran the account for him.
That
It was
adds up, too.
unquestionably Van Damme on a coke bender, just
Probably.
fucking self-loathing.
Wow.
I'm just paying my employees their salaries. I love to give all my money to Alina. Only Alina. I do not support my children. I do not train. I do not eat. I do not sleep. That's how I am making bad movies one after another. I do not know. I do not know why I'm doing this? Question mark.
Hashtag JCVD.
Dude, the wording is like it's like an evil David Goggins or something. Like
Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious. My money is mine. Wow.
yeah, dude.
Damn. Isn't like Van Damme's daughter marrying fucking some it's all right, sorry. It's like another bad 80s action star.
Oh.
And like there's
Hey, watch it with bad there, dude.
Take it easy. Yeah, I know Van Damme will come after me, dude. I'll be getting a fucking hashtag here, but it's like it is marrying. I don't know. It don't matter. I thought it was
Chuck Norris's kid.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's not Chuck Norris. But
So
it's
much for
somebody-
getting these guys on the pod.
Yeah, dude. Van Damme will not return my call, dude. I have tried.
Hey, I know something you could offer him that could get him to come.
Listen, man. You got mad.
Could you imagine what
Jingle
the
bells.
offspring of Van Damme's daughter and other said 80s action movie star is going to produce? This kid's going to be taking the world by storm in a
It's
while.
like somebody
here.
like real fucking inappropriate.
I had an idea for a reality show that I think they should make called Action Dads, where you get like a washed up 80s, 90s action star and you replace a dad in a random American family with them.
Yes.
So dad leaves for a week and Seagal's dad
Yes.
for a week.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, it'd be a fun little fish out of water. Like, oh, this Seagal's got to raise the kids.
This is
And
the
then-
greatest show of all time.
Yeah, and then it got
Yes.
to some dark places. I was like, does he make love to the wife?
Yes,
Does he?
of course.
Are you getting
Yeah.
cucked by Seagal in your house?
Of course.
with the consent of the actual
Yeah,
husband, to be
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's like, honey, you got to do what you got to do. Seagal's at the
Hey,
house.
it's Steven Seagal.
Like, I would be honored, Mr. Seagal.
You better get in there and you better fuck Steven Seagal. I want him to think I'm cool. Mr. Seagal, you can fuck my wife on here. Of course I can. That's what he'd do. He would just like, he wouldn't even ask. He'd be like, of course I can.
Yeah, he's got them fucking Aikido moves in bed, like all this fucking shit.
Just getting pounded in all kinds of awkward positions with the superior flexibility of Jean-Claude Van Damme, dude. Just getting outcocked by Van Damme.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Seagal's probably a pillow princess if we're being,
Yeah.
if we're being real.
There's a famous story. I don't know, famous. There's a story from back in the day about Van Damme's bodyguard beating the shit out of him. Did you
Yeah.
ever hear that story?
The story I heard was there was a stuntman who, or Seagal was like bragging that he can get out of any headlock.
Oh, okay.
And then the stuntman, like he had a stuntman put him in a headlock, and then Seagal passed out and shit his pants.
That's fucking hilarious, too. No, this was something about Van Damme and his like bodyguard, like his like personal like main bodyguard dude, and like got into this thing where like, you know, Van Damme thought he could beat the shit out of anybody. Only like, you know, this guy's like an actual bodyguard, like that could actually beat the shit out of anybody. And they like got in some fight in like a public bathroom, and this guy like beat the shit out of him.
Oh, dude, getting the shit beat out of you by the guy whose job it is to protect you, you have to be like a huge asshole.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure it was
It's a real A2 Brute moment.
He thought like he actually thought that like the kicks he does in the movies and shit were like really gonna work like in the real world. You know? This guy was just like, no.
No, it's
Whooped
crazy.
his
Seagal somehow got Truman showed. Like,
Yeah,
he was
did.
tricked into thinking he is all those things.
Yes, you are correct. Yeah. It is really amazing. The fucking, I mean, like, isn't like Tom Segura kind of obsessed with this too?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Every man at some point, I think,
Yeah.
has their era where they're like kind of into this.
But like tracking him now, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe how much knowledge you got on the guy right now, dude. Like,
Look,
you got a lot of time in your hands.
I'm trying to get him on Chinese Rocket Force eventually. That's the long con.
Indeed.
Seagal is the get of all gets when it comes to
Yeah, it
podcasts.
really is, dude. It really
If I
is.
tell him the Chinese Rocket Force is an actual like military,
Yeah.
we need you,
Yeah.
Stephen. We need you.
He's in for sure. Dude.
Yeah, we need you to sit on this couch, talk to this microphone, and for an hour tell us
For
about
national security.
Dude,
We need our
speaking of
best.
ridiculous action movies, I rewatched The Rock last night for the first time in a while. Dude, The Rock kicks an
Dude.
absurd amount of ass.
Yeah,
God damn, that
yeah.
movie rules, dude.
That's a strange pull. I mean, not really. Like, just like throwing it on. Like,
Oh, yeah, it had to be done. I'm flicking through. It's like,
did you guys see that one? I think we talked about it a little bit, but that fucking the Nick Cage movie, The Unspeakable Weight of Unbearable Talent,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck it was, because there was like a ton of The Rock material in that fucking movie.
Oh, Con Air stuff in that too.
Yeah. They got
'Cause
the
Con
wax
Air's my-
figure of him with the guns.
Tyler was the shit.
The
Yeah.
face off double
Yeah,
guns.
Yes, yeah, the face off.
Well, that was the thing is like you wouldn't get Nick Cage in an action movie like that today. Like you can't
Yeah.
make a new Nick Cage because he's such a weird guy.
Yeah.
And you know, you'd have a movie like The Rock, which is just supposed to be like a regular action movie for regular people to go see, and then you'd have this eccentric lead character who's like, "What in the name of Zeus's butthole?" Oh, like,
I have one gripe, a personal gripe about action stars.
yeah,
Oh no.
We have this great director, right? Came from Michigan, right? Went to Michigan State.
Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi, right? Bruce Campbell. Sam Raimi made Spider-Man movies. He made The Watchmen, or all kinds of great movies. And why no Bruce Campbell in really good movies? Why did he never take off? I don't get it.
have you seen Evil
He's
Dead?
in a lot of movies. I mean,
He's never really.
he never-
isn't
nope.
he in Spider-Man, the first one, or something?
Dude, like for 2
yeah, he
seconds.
has cameos in all of them.
Yeah.
Like literally 2 seconds. He's never been a lead actor in like a big.
Yeah.
He's just never had really that chance.
So part of
Yeah.
it is like, so Sam Raimi wanted him to be the lead of Darkman, and the studio said no.
okay.
They wanted Liam Neeson.
See,
And-
I want to be
wow,
upset
wow.
about that, but Liam Neeson was dope,
Yeah.
and I actually love Darkman.
It's great. Well, and Bruce Campbell, he is like a cult figure.
Yeah.
I think the reason he never, genuinely, I think the reason he never became like a huge movie star is because he's like comically good looking. Like he's good looking in a way that you
yeah.
can't take seriously because that giant like
That's a
chin.
jawline you can say you're watching.
Yeah, he's like a joke. Like he's a comedic presence, and I don't know if like
He's
even
like
on-
one level under the Bogdan twins,
Yeah. I think even
Bruce
on-
Campbell not getting his just dues as a serious actor is a pretty interesting hill to die on. by the way.
I think he might. Hey,
He's
hey,
really passionate about that.
he
Like,
might
you know
have that
who's
third
wildly
act.
underrated as an actor is
Yeah,
Bruce
he
Campbell.
could.
He could get.
Yeah, I
they
could
love comebacks. He might have his Oscar movie.
They were doing
Perfect
all the Evil Dead
Tarantino
stuff.
candidate right
Yeah,
there, dude.
yeah.
Resurrecting careers from obscurity, dude. Tarantino
was in
and Bruce
Bubba
Campbell come
Hotep.
out.
These are
Bubba
the
Hotep's great.
Bogdanova.
Yeah.
Bogdanova.
Who would you guys resurrect, like from like in terms of like bringing back their career and making people take them seriously?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that. I got nothing. I'm gonna have to ponder that one a little bit. What do you got over there? Who are you?
You know, I would say our off the cuff skills are really what sets us apart from other podcasts.
Let's go to.
Sorry, I didn't mean to turn the tables and interview you guys.
That's a fucking good one. It's like I feel like everybody's kind of like doing that. Who's doing that? You know? I don't know.
Everyone's gonna
Gene
get.
Hackman. I hear he's back. He's in a lot of headlines lately.
Yeah, I'm on this. I always say Tom Green. I think is the guy who.
He's got that documentary out or something right now.
Yeah, Tom's got like
Yeah.
stuff happening, but I think Tom Green could win an Oscar.
Actually doing like crazy shit again,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
doing
but
his
they
same
gave
shtick
him his
again.
chance to make his movie, and he turned it into a meme.
You're
Yeah.
talking about Freddie Got Fingered,
Yes.
the greatest movie of all time.
It's a joke on making a movie.
Yeah.
It's literally making fun of the studios and just shitting
Yeah.
on everything.
Yeah, which is fair.
I know, but it's like people weren't ready for that yet.
It was ahead of its time.
The Zoomers weren't born yet.
It was Marty McFly going like, I guess you're not ready for that yet.
We're not ready
Yeah.
for
You're gonna
Skibbity
love it.
Toilet.
Yeah.
We're not ready for this stuff yet, but we might be ready.
Yeah, I don't know. Tom Green was I was never a huge fan. He was
I didn't like him.
He was okay.
I mean, I don't like that kind because he would always like harass people on the street too on his show, and I hate comedy where like people put pressure on random people that aren't up for it. Like it's one thing if you're like heckling, if you're talking to the crowd doing crowd work, but like you go to random people on the street, it's like I don't like this. I don't like this at all because if it was me, I'd be upset.
Is this the fucking Safetyville podcast? There's a bunch of squares here, dude.
You gotta remember the cool people sit in the nice couch over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the guy in the chair. You're like the nerd behind the screens. That's like when the secret agent is out doing stuff. You're the one who's like on your left.
Yes.
You're valuable.
I'm
It's
just
important.
trying not to get fired for a third time.
The Tom Green Show episode where he follows the pizza delivery guy to the people's house and try to undercut him is the funniest shit ever written. He was, I can make
I
that
don't
same
even
pizza
remember
for. I can do that same pizza for $5 less.
I think it's
That is
genius.
funny. That is very funny.
Dude, I opened for Tom Green in Lansing at Great
Very
Hall,
cool.
and he was, it really is that like when you see the guy who just like got old and he's kind of past that now.
Yeah.
Like he's still funny, he's still cool, like but he's like, it's like, oh yeah, that guy eventually turns 50. And he's not. Are you my daddy? Like he's not that guy anymore.
He's
We
like a
haven't seen him
cattle
in so long,
farmer in
too.
fucking Canada somewhere.
he's
He's got
in
a
Ottawa. He's
huge
got a fucking-
ranch.
He
out
just
there.
He just released a stand-up special.
Yeah.
Just recently. It was really good. I listened to it.
Oh, wow.
It blew me
The
away because
special's
it's
great.
like, imagine Tom Green getting a little bit older and slower.
Yeah.
And he's just a little bit more cynical about the world now. And he's a little bit more serious, which is funny because it's like he can start touching on like politics a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really, but like he touches on different things where it's
Right.
like, oh, okay, this guy isn't an idiot.
Yeah.
And like he really gets that sarcastic, like super deep, like because he's older now and he's got that,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was great. I recommend watching
Tom
it.
Green's
He's
the man.
a very smart guy, and he I was gonna say it's so funny because he would like talk to us about all his projects he's working on, because at the time he was filming every single show because he was working on the documentary about his life,
Right.
in addition to prepping his hour for his special, and he was like, I'm also going to start a podcast in my barn. That's my idea. I have guests in the barn. I was like, oh, is it heated? He's like, no, it's not. And I was like, so what are you going to do? Like, because it's Canada, it's going to get cold. What are you going to do? And he like leans in like very seriously and goes, okay, so here's my idea. We wear coats. And then he like leaned back like, right? Like,
Going to full Norm Macdonald with it. That's a funny fucking.
This is coming out soon too.
Wow.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
like I
documentary.
wouldn't even recognize him.
This is a documentary on Tom Green.
Yeah,
what he's
this is
doing.
what I know about. I've seen like a bunch of ads on this and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those, I don't know, maybe he ran away because he had something to hide after his time in Hollywood. But I mean, he was also in Hollywood, and then I think he probably just was like, oh, this sucks,
Yeah,
This
you actually make your
lifestyle.
money. Just get the fuck out,
Well, he
right?
was
He's
like-
riding donkeys and shit now.
was
It's
well,
the
once again,
lifestyle.
he- like, he was so
wasted a bunch of
huge, and
studio
it's
money
like-
on a terrible movie, and they said we're never working with you again. He killed his
Yeah, that'll-
career for that movie.
That'll do
Yeah.
it.
Which, you know what?
That'll do it.
Like a fucking man.
I know, dude. He went like it out in a blaze
He
of
went on a
glory.
blaze of glory, and
Yeah.
he's still beloved. I have a DVD copy of Freddy Got Fingered that I bring to every friend's house all the time. In case. I call it my emergency copy. Just in case. And I got Tom to sign it, so it's like blessed
Nice.
now.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
I have a go bag, and it's just like that.
God.
It's like that. It's
Target.
Target.
Gold.
It's
Target.
Target.
Yeah.
It's notebooks, a knife, some condoms, and that's it. That's all I pay.
The finest Tom Greeny might have been in a Road Trip. Do you remember the movie Road Trip?
I
Which
do
is
remember Road Trip.
underrated comedy. You love me some Road
What
Trip.
was Tom Green in that though?
He's the weird old. He's like,
He's the guy they take along.
release the
with them.
fury, Mitch. He's got that snake, like he's a super uncomfortable fuck.
It's been a long time.
Great flick.
I'm sure I was incredibly intoxicated watching that.
With
movie,
top
so-
notch actors like Stifler.
No, Road Trip is one of those
Road Trip's
movies
a good
you
movie,
should be sober to catch all the nuances.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
it is.
Wasn't he like he was married to Drew Barrymore or
Yeah.
something? All that fucking
A shortcut's
shit.
supposed to be hard. If it was easy, it would just be called The Way.
Yeah, that's a funny line.
No, it's funny because people always get on like Sandler about how like in movies he's always like with Drew Barrymore or Jennifer Aniston or whatever, and he's
Yeah.
like, but then it's like in real life Drew Barrymore married Tom Green.
Yeah,
So it's
indeed.
not that much of a
Right,
fantasy.
right.
If you're like
all
a silly
about
guy,
that.
you'll do fine.
Yeah, but Drew Barrymore isn't considered a gorgeous woman. She was a child actor. That's why she's famous.
But Drew Barrymore was
she
a-
was definitely like considered a hot.
She was a
woman
pretty
in her
woman.
day.
Yeah. And the-
She did
I'm in Beto's
Playboy
camp
and
on
stuff.
this one.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys.
She's
I don't know
that
what
cute
you're
girl
talking
next
about.
door.
Drew
Extra points
Barrymore
for being
became of age. She was a very attractive woman. I think she's a very beautiful older woman now.
What's
in
she
my opinion.
up to?
She's got that talk show.
Okay, that is.
making commercials with Orlando Bloom. At the moment.
Wow, man,
That's a name that
I'm out of the loop.
There you go. There's
I'm out
the
of
answer to
loop.
the question. You're like, give me some more Orlando Bloom.
like,
Orlando
an
Bloom
Orlando
demand
Bloom
more Bloom.
Oscar.
Is he
Yeah.
not in anything anymore?
No.
He was in like Pirates of the Caribbean there for a hot minute.
Yeah,
that was
that's
20
been a
years
little
ago.
bit
Here's,
ago.
here's Drew Barrymore interviewing Tom Green.
Yeah, she had Tom on the show.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, this was their first time talking in like 10 years. I
Nice.
think.
Yeah.
I
Something like that.
completely forgot they were together. That's
Look at that
why.
emo haircut.
Yeah, I think he got better looking with age.
Yeah, he looks
Genuinely.
good.
Oh yeah,
He looks good here.
That long
Yeah.
hair is a real nice.
It's
look
like a
for me.
handsome kind of like rustic type of
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
He's got a real indie rock vibe to him now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you watch him here because we know the persona, but you watch them talk and you're like, oh, I can kind of see like why somebody would be charmed by this guy.
Yeah, Tom
You know?
Green's the man, dude.
It's really like getting laid's a skill issue. More people need to talk about this. You know, if Stavros Halkias is slamming puss all the time, like you gotta
but
look
who knows
inward.
what that, I mean, there's.
Are you a Stavi guy? That's maybe my favorite
Yeah,
podcast. Dude, Stavi's World.
He's
oh
I
my
love
god,
Stavi.
it's so
Yeah, it doesn't
good,
matter what
dude.
you look like.
I mean, I'm a
fame and money.
I'm a student of Come Town, so
Okay,
I
Come
do-
Town was. I never caught that. one. I
That was
heard
the
good things.
that was the front. If you were in the front lines of Stavi fandom, it was him, Nick Mullen, and Adam Friedland doing Come Town.
I just don't like comedy that's all that. That's just nothing but about getting laid. It's like, all right, I get it. I get it.
Safetyville.
I'm just saying, like, I don't
No,
know,
I get
it's just it's just kind of cheap to me.
Hey,
Like,
man, he's
okay,
got a
we
lot
get
of
it.
fat
Like,
jokes
can we
sprinkled
get-
in there
Can we
too.
get some
in fairness.
actual
Come on,
jokes
man.
in here though
Well,
too?
what's funny
Like,
about Stav, and I think the reason he does that is because he's like objectively a disgusting looking man, and his act, and he's very likable, and he's very lovable, and he's cool, and part of his act is like. In fact, I feel sorry that I said he's objectively disgusting. That was mean.
No, he knows.
But part of the act is like I fuck. Like I get laid. Like he's like assuring the audience, like I actually do all the time.
Yeah.
Like I know how it looks, but I do. So I think that's part of. It's like him trying to prove, like, or like reassure people. That
He's one of those guys that might be better as a podcast host than a stand-up
Yeah.
because he's super bright, very quick, like real funny off the cuff. Dude, I fucking
He's one
love
of the
those
few
guys.
guys that's really good at crowd work. Like I think,
Right.
Crowd work's kind of like it's in and it's kind of a hack move,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like he's genuinely very good at
Well,
it.
that math
yeah.
all checks out too, because he's always talking about how people are shitting on him for being the fat kid or whatever,
Yeah.
like the only white guy in the all black school. So
had to
he's
be
used to
quippy.
fucking breaking balls.
Yeah.
The podcast is kind of a rough watch though, because you get this angle like the whole time. It's like
basic instinct.
I don't want to call people ugly, but like when you're giving me this angle of this
Right.
guy, you're not doing him any
That's a lot of
favors.
inner thigh. dude.
yeah, that's a little much.
They know what they're doing. He knows what he's doing. Let's like he didn't. You think he purposely wore little tiny shorts to the studio? It can't be that hot in there.
But dude,
He's
it
in LA,
rocks.
man.
I love it. I think he's
I think
he's the man. Dude.
Yeah, no, I think he's funny and hardworking. I don't enjoy some of the. I'm like Ross. I've got like an 80-year-old sensibility about sexuality sometimes.
no, it's not
but
even that. It's not. It's just like I
So
don't know.
who's
like,
funny to you guys? Steve Allen, like.
I'm a Tim Allen.
More of a Tim.
fan.
Goddamn
yeah.
I'm one of those lame Shane Gillis guys. So what?
Well, Shane's great.
Yeah.
Shane's awesome
for sure, yeah.
I dude, I saw Tim Allen live one time.
Did you? That's
with my
actually cool,
dad.
yeah. Nice,
And
nice.
it
Back in
was-
the day, yeah.
dog. When the
Yeah.
doors close, Tim gets super blue, and
Yeah.
but he's still telling it. Well, first of all,
Right.
he's super Republican. It's just like a lot of
yeah.
heavy,
Oh, yeah.
conservative jokes, and
Yeah.
then he'll get super blue, and he'll just be like talking about boners, but he'll deliver it like a Tim Allen joke. So he's
Yeah.
like. He's like, yeah, like he's like, oh, you ever get one of those boners that comes out of nowhere for no fucking reason? And it's because it's it's just because it's windy outside. You look down and go, oh, that's bizarre.
Just
Dude.
landing
running
every
back
joke
shameless
with
home improvement, dude.
That's just getting on, dude. There's some of these guys that, like, I don't know, it's easy to make fun of them, but I'm like, they're treasures, dude. I live in Michigan. I can't not love Tim Allen.
Yeah,
like,
I got
kinda
like Tim Allen,
prerequisite,
whatever,
dude.
you know. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, we all grew up watching fucking Tim Allen,
and he was like, we all have, whether it's our dad or our grandpa or our uncle.
Yeah.
If you're like a Midwestern guy, you know,
yeah.
We all
Tim Allen type.
we know these relationships. Look, I'm not going to stand up behind the camera, but people always made fun of me at my job for looking like Al Borland.
Yeah,
constantly.
Look at him, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Peter
Al
Richard
Borland.
Cards. It's
But I'm like,
uncanny
well, I guess I can take it. But
Well, the way you're positioned behind that monitor, you look more like Wilson.
yeah, that's more appropriate.
There we go.
Tim Allen's got some ridiculously terrible news show now. Also with Stifler making a career.
Yeah, that
There
car
you go.
show.
That's
Come
what we
back
need to
here,
bring
yeah.
back. Yeah,
It's
When's
real
Michael
bad.
Richards coming back?
he's been working. He's been working on it.
Get him on. See what he has to say.
They've been making big effort to get Michael Richards fucking back in the
Really?
saddle. Yeah, he's been
We
doing a
had the
bunch of rounds. He
brief
did a book or
curb. They
something.
kind of brought him back for
now-
a hot
yeah,
minute
dude.
there.
Now's the time because like racism's in, dude. Like it's truly, dude. If he came out, and I was talking about this on Rocket Force last night, like if he was like the panel guest on Kill Tony, he'd fucking crush. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like nobody can. Like honestly, one white guy freaking out and saying the N-word back then and ending his entire career.
I know,
Now it's like when Shane was like, oh, just go on Joe Rogan the next week, I'll be fine. Like, you got a whole sanctuary now. You know, not that I support that.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's just kind of a reality of it. I don't really think, especially in comedy, like with the existence of all these avenues, getting canceled doesn't really mean anything anymore.
No, that's always the cancel thing's always been bullshit.
It's almost more of a feather in the cap now. It's like a no
Everybody's
press is
trying
bad
to get
press
canceled
type
kind of
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, we've
Right, there's
crossed
something-
that threshold now.
There's something
Yeah.
cool to getting silence, and they'll be like, Chappelle's like, they won't let you talk about this. I'm like, I'm watching you on Netflix
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, chill out.
How much money did you get paid to get this?
Seriously. Yeah, you can't talk about it really because everybody's talking about everything. Nobody's been canceled. Like, shut the fuck up. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's always going to be people that are like overly sensitive in a non-constructive way or whatever. But the idea that they're like running the world, you know,
it's like, maybe this comedy thing's just not for you.
yeah, there's loud people on Twitter,
You know, like,
whatever, you know,
Yeah.
you'll survive.
I mean, it's pretty obvious when you're listening to comedy what people's intentions are behind the things.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Whether or not
Intent
they're trying
matters.
to drive a joke or actually drive hate.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
usually tell pretty easily what they're
It's
really trying to
pretty
do.
easy. You are 100%
I will say I did
correct.
watch the Michael Richards thing, and he said it multiple times, and it felt very
He
hateful.
did scream it.
It felt
For the
very
record,
hateful.
If you want to break down the context,
It was
of the
not
nuance,
part of a joke.
He's screaming the N-word to
There was a
black man.
capital
Yes,
hard
yes.
R on the end.
It wasn't
I mean,
crowd
it was-
work.
Yeah.
He was just like trying to be, I mean, I can't say, but he was just like trying to be funny or whatever. And it was obviously
Well, he also
not.
wasn't an actual stand-up, right? Like he
I
tried
think he
kind of
started
getting
after
into
Seinfeld.
that.
Yeah. I do like watching that clip where you're like, you can kind of see the moment where he's like,
like I've crossed the line here.
and he starts trying to comment on it. He's like, "Oh, you see those words? I'm like, nah, Kramer, you can't act like this was part of the plan."
Yeah,
Like,
this was all an experiment.
and you passed.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're all not racist.
He said he got a bunch of offers and shit even still after that, but he just like didn't do anything. He was like, I just kind of like self-canceled and just like I was like, I'm done. I
Yeah.
fucked up so bad that I'm just
That's
like,
probably the
we
right
don't
thing to
get
do.
off
I mean, at some point you got to be apologetic if people get riled up in this country. It's just the way it is. At some point you got to humble yourself and go, all right.
Yeah.
And then
What do you get an offer from BET?
I have no idea, but probably that would be
It'd be funny if he did an
hilarious,
apology
dude.
tour just doing black
Seriously,
shows.
man. Oh my god, dude.
Kramer's on Wild and Out, like trying
Oh my god.
oh my
dude.
god,
doing backseat of my ride. Or something.
wild and
That
out.
would be the best thing ever. But I mean, I'm sure that like, I mean, he was still Kramer from Seinfeld and multiple Emmys and blah blah blah. So I'm sure
Yeah.
he was still
And
getting
we
offers
know
and
exactly
shit.
where he goes when he starts losing on Wild and Out too.
Right, yeah. What's he gonna have to say?
Oh no, he's losing. What's he gonna do?
Check that toolbox, Kramer.
Yeah.
There's one thing in there. There's one nuclear bomb you could drop.
Killer option.
There's one very conspicuous arrow left in the quiver.
Dude, I was watching I don't know why I do this. I was watching Mel Gibson on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And because I'm a Mel Gibson fan. Don't love his movies, but I like
Gibson
him.
I have a Braveheart poster in my house. A full-size Braveheart poster on my wall.
Great, very good director. I love like Lethal Weapon. I like
He made some bangers, man.
Even to this
A lot of
day,
great
did
movies,
you ever see
dude.
Dragged Across Concrete from a few years ago?
I did see that.
great in that movie.
with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Super hardcore conservative messaging in that movie as well.
Well, see, I think that movie's
Oh,
more
yeah.
complicated because I feel like they're kind of the bad guys in the movie. Because like he and Vince Vaughn
Yeah.
play these like kind of racist cops. But I think once you get to the end of
It was
the
a
movie,
real stretch for Gibson, that role. By
Yeah,
the way.
he really
Vince Vaughn's the same way,
Transformed.
dude.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's like super like.
But I do
know
think
about-
this
I thought he was like a Chicago guy.
nah, he's pretty
Right.
maggot out nowadays.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Well, I think he keeps it to himself, whatever it is. I don't
not
think he
doing
really.
movies like this.
But I think this movie, I think this
it was a
movie's
pretty good movie, though.
actually more kind of layered than it seems. Like I think
Yeah.
it seems more conservative, but you watch it and like a lot of the sympathies towards Tory Kittle's character, the black character, and
Yeah.
But my point is, I was getting off track, but like in the he spent the last so many years like carefully recrafting his persona. He got at the like he was at the Oscars for Hacksaw Ridge. He's like, "Oh, I'm
Right.
back now.
Yeah.
I don't talk politics. I don't, talk about any groups of people or whatever." And then he goes on Rogan, and Rogan is just like poking the bear, and he's just
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
"What do you think about like evolution?"
That's a fly to honey situation right there.
And you can see like he's like turning into a werewolf and trying to hold it back. And he's just like, "Oh, I think it's false. Like it's all a hoax." And you're like, "Oh, this poor guy spends like the last 15, 20 years trying to save his reputation."
I just
and then
rewatched
Rogan just
some,
unraveled it all.
Some fucking Thunderdome, dude. Some Beyond Thunderdome.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan had never seen it, and I was like, "Oh, we're going to the Thunderdome."
That's
Let's
the most
go,
like
dude.
bozo of the Mad Max.
It's so wild, dude.
I'm a
It's-
Mad
yeah.
Max 2 guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Road Warrior.
They all rule.
Yeah.
But
They're all a good
my
time.
favorite
Tina
is definitely
Turner's great
Beyond
in this.
Thunderdome because it's so
Look at that
positive.
coiffed
I mean, this is the
hair.
one my
That's a
dad made me
good-looking head
watch.
of hair, boy.
And
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the Thunderdome fight. I think this movie kind
Oh,
of
dude!
peaks
Okay.
early.
Here's what I was astonished
Master
by having
Blaster.
watched it again. That Thunderdome fight is like 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
it just does not stop.
Yeah.
it just goes.
It feels
and
like the
goes and
climax of the
goes.
movie.
Yeah, it is kind of like the.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
a great
think
movie.
you think Warwick Davis lost out on the Master Blaster role? for
Yeah,
this one?
indeed.
It's like, there it is. That's Blaster. Because Master Blaster is actually two people.
Yes.
It's like Kid and Play. People think it's
Yeah.
one guy, but it's actually two separate
They're
guys.
like two people with one soul.
yeah.
he's got the big chainsaw going on. The other guy's got nothing. Is this kind of
He's
like
got to grab weapons from it. Come on, dude! Don't you know the Thunderdome?
Gibson's
Two
getting
men
by
or
in
one man
sheer
league?
is this
agility
like a
right here.
metaphor for politics?
This got a keto, just got fucking scald right there.
keto.
with that thing.
Yeah, it did. Dude, I've been running back some Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and they did this whole fucking thing on Thunderdome. It was just fucking, just absolutely killing me. But yeah, anyway, Signs kind of recently watched, dude.
Signs is
banger fucking movie,
huge.
too, dude. He really did make some killer movies.
That's the thing. As much as I love movies, whenever people are like, "Oh, in Signs, why did the aliens go to? If they get killed by water, why'd they go to a planet?"
Yeah,
that's
I
full?" I'm
know.
like, "Shut up, dude. Who cares?"
Yeah, because you
Like,
gotta like take over a planet sometimes.
Yeah.
Dude. What are you gonna do?
Doesn't
You know?
matter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
Why-
Mel Gibson, because Joaquin Phoenix. Like, what do you want?
Why do we go anywhere dangerous? You know? Why do you skydive? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I, for one, am not into danger at all.
no.
No.
Yeah.
The word scares me.
Well, do you guys having? You said you're over 100 episodes in, right?
Yes.
Is that? Do you like? Do people mention to you stuff they heard you say on here, and you're like, I don't remember saying that at all?
No,
Like, when
because
I-
nobody
That presupposes that people are actually listening to the
Yeah,
podcast.
you're assuming someone has
Definitely
actually
not.
asked me
Yeah.
about an episode.
you don't
Yeah,
even have
no.
like a tight group of friends that listen to this. That's
my
there's
mom.
definitely people that
We've got a
listen.
solid
Most of
contingent
Beaton's
of about
mom.
30
Yeah, she
listeners.
listens. She listened to the first 15 minutes of the second podcast that Ross had me on for.
oh shit.
Yeah, that was about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, my mom will be added to the list after today.
Yeah, subscribe. We want all the moms to subscribe. That's our core audience, really, is other people's moms.
Oh, yeah, get up on that Patreon. That's the mood. You guys change the game with that.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Everybody does. But the other week, he run back some material from the week before that he forgot we talked about. We were like, yeah, we already discussed all this. Did you check? What the fuck was it?
We gave him a real hard time, too.
The wrestler guy. Stephen Flo. Stephen Flo. I'm gonna have to run back Stephen Flo. There's this fucking
triple dipping into the Stephen Flo well.
I'm gonna need some Stephen Flo news of the week too, by the way.
So anyway, but then like the next week he's like, have you guys heard about this fucking guy called Stephen Flo, this wrestler? And we're like, yeah, dude, we talked about him for like a half hour.
Moral to the
last week.
story being even we pay very little attention to this podcast.
Still got to reach out to Stephen Flo, get him on the pod though. For sure.
And that is the thing.
Ooh. Hey now.
Hell yeah.
And that's all you need.
That's
to know.
all it is. That's
there
literally
you
all
go.
this is. It's a wrestler who's a grunge guy who calls himself Stephen Flo. All right, that's all we need. Let's not go down this whole rabbit hole again. Anyway, Stephen Flo, come on the pod.
I do. I will say, I mean, in regards to like not remembering what you do on the pod, I'm like, the one part of me that is sympathetic to like canceled guys is I am like,
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
could cancel me for something I said, and I'd be like, you're probably
For
right.
sure. Yeah, you are
I'm
just 100% just making
Well, you
shit
get
up.
kinda have to
going. You're
come
just
in.
trying, you're trying to keep the
Yeah.
fucking conversation going. You're trying to say the
up with
funniest thing
funny
comes to the
shit.
top
I'm
of
gonna
your
say
mind.
stuff I'll regret. You know, it'll happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't all land.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I've had people. I was at the independent comedy club, and a guy like just like records sets, and he like posts them. And when he posted mine, I asked him to take it down. I was like,
Yeah.
"That's not." I was like, "Nah, for your call."
You got
bud."
Kramer, do you know?
Yeah. There wasn't. It didn't get that bad.
There's a lot of hard R's.
One too many.
Dude, yeah.
Whatever that amount is, you guys
That's
decide.
3
at home.
strikes, dude. 3 strikes and you're out, man.
It's calculated with calculus. It's like the ratio of infinity as it touches zero.
Louis always says I'm maxing out my yellow card, which is like, since I'm Asian, I can get away with a couple more things that white guys can't. But I'm like always like right there, where it's like one step further, and I don't think you're safe anymore.
Right. You get that little bit of extra leeway. you know?
Just a bit. Well, they'll go like, "Well, he's Asian. He can't be that bad."
You get that Steven Seagal, Dalai Lama extra little bit of grace.
Yeah, well, you know, being a red-haired white dude, you don't get a lot of. I guess Bill Burr doesn't give a fuck, though. You know,
No, he doesn't care.
he gives zero.
Can't believe these
fucks.
fucking guys. These fucking guys out here.
I do love some Bill Burr. He's probably, I think he's one of the fucking funniest guys on the planet right now. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. People are like hating on him sometimes, and I'm like, really? Like, I think it's fucking.
I
hilarious,
love that
man.
he's like a genuine, like blue collar, like regular guy
Yeah.
who is like, he's not like a grifter. He never did like the right wing grift or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
He's just very
yeah.
like real
Yeah.
in that way. And it's like, you look at him now and he's talking about like Trump and all this stuff. And you're like,
Yeah.
if the Democrats like talked like that,
Yeah,
they do well.
I know. It's like, let's put
You know?
Bill Burr in the fucking ring here a little bit, dude. Yeah.
All you
for
gotta do
sure.
is just talk like a guy.
Well, he is like
Bill
one of
Burr
the-
is just a regular blue collar guy with his own private helicopter.
Right,
He's just
right.
he's the everyman like me
He's
and you.
an ex blue collar guy. That's probably the safe.
He's like one of the first guys that came out and kind of like addressed the Luigi situation.
Dude,
It's like,
his-
you know what? This is what really feels
His
like to
shit
people.
on that, like,
Well,
was he on Kimmel or whatever?
He had
going on?
free Luigi.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude! When he's on any talk show, he gives zero fucks, just dropping
Yeah.
every F bomb, just like, dude,
Honestly, I feel like he gets a little bit of extra grace because he's a Boston guy. Like there's some level of like assume
Well,
like this
from
gonna be a
Boston.
prick and
Well, it's
gonna
funny
be, you
'cause
know.
a lot of the conservatives like Bill Burr because of his vibe, you know, because he's like just
Right.
a fucking dude, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like turning on him after he did that thing, and I remember like Ben Shapiro going like, he like. Bill Burr came out and he celebrated the death of, you know, And it's like, and then you'll see like in the comments, Ben Shapiro's own like fans are like, nah, I think it's actually cool that Luigi shot that guy. Like, nobody's out here like crying for the healthcare CEO except his family, probably.
Bill Burr was like, fuck that guy. Did you like, he's like, that was like his whole response to Ben Shapiro was like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. That's kind of all you have to say.
I mean, clearly,
it's like
definitely fuck that guy.
Next to shoving him in a locker.
I know, right?
No, that's dumb.
That guy's like, he could like be like, it's just, I don't know. When you listen to him, it's like, okay, you're kind of right about some things, but it's like, you're just,
right.
I don't know.
Ben Shapiro or Bill Burr?
Both. I'm talking about Ben Shapiro, but
I feel like Ben Shapiro is this paradigm shift where growing up, conservatives were like manly.
Yeah.
The conservatives were like, you wear like like the whole thing was you had to be like a big dude who wore flannels or whatever you hunt
you
or
your Carhartts and
and
farming.
now the paradigm shifted and the big conservative guys are all like huge dorks. Like they're not cool guys,
right?
Sylvester Stallone is what I used to think of if I thought of like the conservative idea of a man, and now it's like these fucking dweebs, Charlie Kirk with his tiny face and like
I don't even know what that is.
I shouldn't even. I don't know. I shouldn't like.
Yeah,
I know who these people are. I know them.
All these
I'm not a
dudes
fan of
though,
Ben
on
Shapiro.
either side, like they're basically playing like a little bit of a caricature, right? To your point, like some of the stuff you agree with, like they've got some super valid points, and then they're also going just a little bit farther in that direction because it's all fucking.
Well,
it's like,
you make
all right,
it,
dude, we get it, man.
You make a whole company that's like Jordan Peterson. I used to really like Jordan Peterson.
Same, dude.
Because
but then he had all those drug problems, and he said he started saying some really wild shit after a while.
Exactly.
It's like the dude's books, like 12 Rules for Life. There's some stuff that actually helps people in there.
It was like
especially young, struggling men. That's real. That's a real thing. But he said some wild shit.
But now he's gonna tell us what he thinks about like trans
everything,
people.
dude.
A lot,
it's like,
right?
That dude just loves to hear himself talk so much. It's like,
And
okay, dude.
He dresses like Harvey Two-Face now.
Yeah, I know. He's
And
got
he's
all these
crying.
suits
He's
and
always
shit.
Men have it so hard.
The other thing about that
down.
guy, which is like no real shade, but I just can't stand his actual voice.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
bad.
can't stand to hear
It's
him
tough
speak.
to listen to.
Like, and it's like that sucks, and it's like everybody's got their voice, but like I can't like even like listening to the audiobooks, I'm just like I can't.
He's got like a little Canadian Mickey Mouse
it's
thing
so
going on
weird,
for
dude.
sure.
It's like
yeah.
the most weird accent.
Do you guys know the Matt Walsh guy from? He's like one of the Daily Wire.
Yeah,
like,
he did What Is a Woman?
What is a woman?
Oh yeah.
He's he always talks like he's like talking through a burp a little bit.
Okay.
Like he talks like he's trying to sound like more like he very calculatedly.
He talks deeper than his natural voice so that he
So
can.
he's-
He's one of those guys that
commands
goes
respects.
around and
Right.
Hey guys, what's
God.
going on?
I saw him on a
Wow.
podcast and he was going like, he's like, I don't think you should be allowed to have sick days. And he's like, in general, I think if you're a grown adult, you shouldn't have sick
Wow.
days. And I was like, dog, you sit down and talk into a fucking microphone for a living.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Shouldn't be allowed
about?
to have sick days. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out
you're
of
not
here.
inhaling fumes in your job.
Yeah, dude.
Like, obviously, you shouldn't be allowed to take sick days, actually.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh.
Should have to do an actual work maybe sometime, dude.
Well, Ben
Like,
Shapiro probably doesn't let him.
Yeah. They probably don't have great benefits.
It's like, actually, if you look in your contract,
Yeah,
it'd be funny if the Daily Wire guys unionized. That'd be ironic.
that would be
a fun bit.
That would yes, that is.
No, it's
actually
the
really
Boring
funny, dude.
Company.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
But no, I
that would be
watched
funny as
his.
hell.
Me and Louis and our friend Jordan, we went to go see his movie "Am I Racist?" And
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, is that dude?
It's the same guy.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
And he's like, "Look, we can talk all day about we're probably the misguided politics of the film, and there's a lot of it. I think Matt Walsh isn't a very smart guy, but some of his comedic timing, like, is really good. There's a couple parts in that movie where you're like, I get what this is like he's funny, and what he's doing is funny, and then the conclusion he reaches is like racism isn't a thing anymore. And you're like, no, I don't know about that.
Dude, yeah. No, yeah, I've definitely not seen those movies. Just putting together that's who that is.
Yeah, what do you have, like a life, dude? What do you have, like?
Kinda, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I've been going on for like the last year about how like, and this you're gonna make fun of me and go ahead, but it's like I don't want to watch entertainment that's like has like a point to it, or like that's like too deep,
I get it.
or it's just like I just want the dumb shit that's like. whatever. You know,
Well, you gotta
I
think
just
too
wanna-
much in your regular life.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm like, I just want to watch fucking whatever. And
Yeah.
just like, you know, so yeah. So I'm not getting too deep on anything right
I
now.
think all great things are like they work if you don't think about them, and then they also work if you do.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's what great stand-up comedy is like you can break down what makes a great joke or what is the comic saying.
Yeah.
But all that really matters is like, did your
Did you
body
laugh?
make you
Yeah.
laugh when you
For
first
sure.
heard it? You know.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, man.
What do you feel about a quick break here, boys? Quick
Yeah, I
refill,
can do
take a
another.
quick
I can
piss.
do another drink here. Yes, man. It's been another punishing week here in Dangerville Central since last night when we did the podcast last night. It's been a long week since
A
last night.
whole hell of a lot has happened between then and now, my
Between the
friend.
last time I saw you 24 hours ago. Yeah, well, man. So as we were just talking about, I'm really not hip on what's going on in the world, staying out of politics, just fucking. So.
You've got remodeling going on.
know,
You got
I
work.
know.
You got life getting in the
painting
way.
things, sanding
In
floors.
such a case, how does one go about keeping up
know.
with the comings and goings of the world?
I wish there was
Yeah.
a way I could know what's happening.
it's like I wish I could pay my taxes, but I'm too busy thinking about what's happening in Ukraine.
Well, fortunately, boys, we've got just the ticket.
The Dangerville Podcast presents News of the World.
Is that gonna be the
No
Ukrainian
sound
national
bite.
anthem?
Yes, and then we were just gonna. That's what it should be. It's a very hilarious sound bit that sets up this terrible premise.
This Zelensky-esque. Yeah, no sound. I'm really off my game now, boys. All right. Let's jump right into it. A flaming hot Cheeto shaped like the beloved Pokemon Charizard card
Turn that down a
auctioned for $87,000, boys. 87 grand.
Run that back a little bit.
I have
Say
no
it again.
idea
I
what's
couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
A flaming, as I'm saying just now for the first time ever, a flaming hot Cheeto shaped like the beloved Pokemon Charizard is auctioned for $87,000, boys.
Wow.
The Golden Auction House's description of the $87,000 Cheeto read, presented as a 3-inch long flaming hot Cheeto in the shape of a Pokemon Charizard
Damn.
affixed to a custom Pokemon card and encapsulated in a clear card box, gentlemen.
Wow.
Yes. For women looking for a more affordable 3-inch long object that creates a burning sensation, please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. Yes.
80.
This is serious
What the hell's working now?
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
We're back.
Hell yeah.
$87,000 for a Cheeto.
For a fucking Cheeto, dude. Some of
Dude,
these
if I was
things-
rich, I'd buy it and just eat it. Dude. You know what I mean?
That's ridiculous. What is it? An NFT? Like,
Kinda, yeah.
Do you remember? I think at
it'd
one
be funny to
point,
be like, I'm not paying that much for a Cheeto. Now, if it was a
Dude.
digital
Yeah,
shitty
yeah,
piece of
yeah,
art of
yeah.
an ape,
I'm down for sure. That's an investment, bro.
there was a potato and/or potato chip that looked just like Jay Leno that was going around. That was a show.
Teeth.
But I digress, boys. Suspect steals and swallows. Oh, these are all so freaking terrible jokes. Suspect steals and swallows $700,000 earrings, gentlemen.
Wow. Okay.
So police say a man in Florida pretended to represent a professional athlete to gain access to the expensive jewelry before ingesting it and attempting to make his escape, gentlemen.
Damn.
Auditors confirmed it to be the greatest financial loss resulting from someone swallowing something they shouldn't have since Kevin Spacey.
Oh.
It's timely Kevin Spacey material. This has never been done before on this podcast.
Episode ever.
No, that was good. I'll allow it.
Man. Yeah, really half-assed these as always. Man
and
arrested.
what state was that man from who did that?
Oh, that's a Florida man without question.
Oh yeah, it is a Florida man.
Do you need to ask the question?
Very
even?
disappointing
Of course it was in
representation
Florida.
for Florida.
Man arrested in UK cheese heist where imposters stole $389,000 worth of cheddar.
Oof.
Yes.
Nice.
Authorities in London have arrested a 63-year-old man in connection with the cheese heist of 2024,
Nice.
in which tens of thousands of pounds of high-value cheddar were stolen from a major distributor. Police said that while there were a few missteps in the man's scheme that eventually led to his arrest, overall, his plan was pretty good.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? That's what it
Thank you,
is?
boys. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all night. And on to our next terrible pun. Lying sideways on the moon, the Athena lander is declared dead, boys.
Oh, no. Pouring out.
Intuitive Machines, the Houston-based company that was set to deliver historic water hunting Michigan to the moon's south pole, announced Friday that its Athena lander has powered down just 1 day after arriving at the lunar surface after falling onto its side and being unable to recharge via solar panels. An inauspicious landing, to be sure. Yes, the lander's inability to recharge itself will also prevent it from completing its subsequently scheduled mission, a thorough probe of Uranus, boys. Just increasing the terrible material. Last but not least, Snoop Dogg's daughter, Corey Brodus, gives birth to baby girl 3 months early.
Oof, damn.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh,
So the rapper's daughter revealed she initially believed she just had a bad case of gas.
Oh my God.
But learned she developed a rare pregnancy complication, which ultimately led to her giving birth at 25 weeks. Yes.
Damn.
Thankfully, the baby's fine, boys.
Yeah.
If anyone was wondering, yes.
I wasn't.
Brodus said she's reminded of her fiance every time she looks at her newborn. Her eyes, her smile, and her habit of coming far too quickly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is yours.
The Dangerville Podcast presents News of the
Snoop
World.
with Tyrese. Dude, what is
Damn.
this? Inappropriate.
Tyrese is in a Snoop Dogg music video.
Apparently, this is blowing my mind right now, dude.
Yeah, he's like really good friends with Dr. Dre.
Slash
or
the
something.
RZA, apparently. Was that a RZA cameo? right there?
RZA?
Yeah.
Wow. The film director, RZA?
Speaking of which, dude, the Snoop Dogg cutout in the other room, the infamous. Oh man, he's on his last legs, dude. I can't. He's really falling over. I mean, I can't like
Pouring
front of
out
him.
for the Snoop cutout.
I'm fucking. I know. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
It
with
was
him,
good
dude.
run while it
I
lasted.
know. I'm
Sounds
thinking
like-
about cutting him off and like sticking him on the door or something like that. You know?
Oof.
What am I gonna do, dude?
Torso only.
I got a saw. I can make it. I can make you a
Yeah.
particle board backing for it.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
We
is
can
go-
extend his life.
That's
We can
probably the
repair
move, is to
him.
make it even more cumbersome in the house by adding an enormous particle board even behind the already
preposterously
6'1" cutout of Snoop Dogg. That's probably the move, to be sure. Well played, Vito. Dude.
I mean, they make life size like robots, like real like people with like real skin. Can we get one of those of Snoop Dogg?
Yeah,
like
we
maybe
tried.
like a wax sculpture.
Yeah, we tried, dude.
A Snoop Dogg
Trying
wax
to fuck a
everything.
fake Snoop Dogg? Is
Yeah,
that-
seriously.
Hey, can we get one of those like life-size
Those- yeah,
real
those
robots that
sex
feel
dolls.
like a real
But I want it to
person?
be Snoop.
You know, like an anatomically
way.
correct.
Anatomically correct Snoop Dogg. Just for accuracy purposes.
Boys, real quick, I know you're a movie guy, it sounds like. I know you're a huge Bond guy, as am I. Did you see that Amazon is taking over control of the Bond franchise?
What?
Yes.
Wow.
They apparently bought the rights to the Bond
That is
franchise. And they're looking at
crazy.
Nolan to direct the next Bond, which
Which
is
would be huge. That'd be
shows, yeah.
huge. Well, like I was always saying when they did the Daniel Craig Bonds, they like based it off of basically the success of The Dark Knight. There was
Yeah.
like this weird thing where like it had
Right.
to be like more gritty and like this
Yeah.
weird. It was like how movies like that's the success of that movie like changed.
Which I think
the
worked for
trajectory
the
of those
record.
movies.
Like, it's a little
worked
different
for
than the
that.
old school Bonds, but like, it was
It
pretty
worked for
fun
like
and different.
one
yeah.
movie. I got some real issues with the latest Bond franchise.
Can I say I hate this news though? I think this is terrible. Not the Christopher Nolan thing, but I think like with Amazon,
Oh, Amazon?
it's
Yeah,
terrible.
dude.
because
That's terrible.
apparently a huge part of it was
This
like
is pretty funny right here.
'Cause
This
that's
Jeff
hilarious.
Bezos is
That's-
I almost said Dr. Evil, but
he has
close enough.
what's his name?
Blofeld.
License to
Blofeld.
shill.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
It's just like because now they're gonna do like 10 TV spin-offs or whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna turn Star Wars like
Yeah.
all the bullshit.
And the cool kind of thing about Bond was it was just a movie that
Yeah.
came out every few years.
Yeah.
You know,
with really terrible puns.
And
That's
they
what it used to
totally
be.
borked the Lord of the Rings series. They wasted a bunch of money and they didn't make a good series. It
Yeah,
looks good. It
yeah.
sounds good, but it just wasn't put together.
The turning
Yeah.
all these movie franchises
Yeah.
into TV is a
Right.
fucking scourge
it
going
takes
on
away
right
what's
now.
special
dude.
about
Yeah.
movies.
And the Bond franchise was owned and run by one family. The
Broccoli family.
The Broccoli family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All the movies were, the main dude died years ago and his daughter took over,
Yeah.
like around the Brosnan era or whatever, something like that.
Well, I heard there's like the story was there was a clash between Bezos and the Broccoli family, and Mrs. Broccoli, whatever, you know, she's like, they were like, Bezos wanted to do like a spin-off, a TV show about like Moneypenny, and Mrs. Broccoli was like, no, you're not doing any TV spin-offs. And then Bezos was like, I don't care how you do it, get rid of her, which is 100% something a fucking Bond villain would say.
Yeah.
Like, that's such an accurate picture because Bezos
necessary.
Yeah.
No, Mrs. Broccoli, I expect you to die.
Indeed.
By the way, it's a tough look going toe to toe with a multi-billionaire with the last name of Broccoli. It's not exactly a name that commands respect.
Bezos has that nuclear powered mega yacht. He's basically playing into it.
I know. Well, a lot of these guys that I'm saying, I'm like, these are the
Going
guys
full
that
Bond
we used to
villain
like.
with it,
That
dude.
James Bond used to like. We used to send James Bond against these guys who were running the world now. Like, all these guys are literal Bond villains now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh,
There's
okay,
the
they're actually
one
in charge.
Brosnan Bond where the guy like controls all the media. He's fucking
I've been saying that since fucking day
Elon's
one.
such a Bond
He's
villain,
the most
dude.
Bond
Yeah.
villain
He
of all
wants to
fucking
put
time,
chips in people's brains.
Yeah.
It's literally the thing. It's like, it's crazy. He's literally was friends with Epstein. You know, he's
Yeah.
everything they are afraid of, and it's like, but I don't know. We like him because he like fucking knows memes or something. You know?
Yeah, but
really
what happens when he
that-
builds this infrastructure of Starlink and Neuralink and all these other things? What happens
Send
if
Bond against him.
what happens if someone else takes it over? What comes next?
Well, exactly. That's
The
whole
question
point.
is, which Bond are you sending to defeat Elon? Are you going Brosnan or are you going Craig?
I'm going Dalton.
That's a huge call.
a good
Yeah.
call.
I'm going George Lazenby. The one Bond.
Her
the
Majesty's
one
Secret
movie.
Service.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm looking at Roger Moore
Roger
to take
Moore
the
for sure, dude. Roger Moore might kind of be in some ways my favorite Bond.
I
dude.
love Roger Moore because he's
love
like
Roger Moore, dude.
He's like kind of like a lame dad.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so like those run of movies are definitely the most like comedic. And
yeah,
just, like,
he's like kind of schlubby,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
but he's like he's like a guy who's definitely handsome
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
and that's what I
the
really
puns
like.
were just off the charts in those movies.
That's just like what
dude.
Moonraker was, the Roger Moore
Dude,
one,
yeah,
right?
I think Moonraker might have been the last Roger Moore movie, or second to last. No, the last one was
the next
A
one was
View
James
to a
Bond in
Kill.
the Hood, right?
Yeah. Bond in the Hood. I mean, Moonraker literally is Bond in space.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's like that's what it is. It's the whole plot.
With the
Bond goes to the
glorious
Hood.
consequences.
So funny.
You gotta have it.
Yeah, it's about a fucking supervillain who's launching rockets into space to fucking it's like there's like every single fucking one is like,
Yeah.
oh, that's definitely
It's
Elon
just
Musk.
a little
That's
bit too
definitely
on the
Elon Musk.
nose, unfortunately. It's a rare picture of Sean Connery signed
There
by
you go.
Roger Moore.
Oh man, I gotta run back some fucking Bond shit, dude. Fucking love all these movies, dude.
Yeah.
Connery for the win in The Rock, by the
Connery
way.
is
Dude,
the fucking
Connery
man,
is
dude.
just in a pro.
Well, I mean, like
in The Rock.
me as
There's
a
Lazenby.
young gamer youth.
Goldeneye.
GoldenEye played
GoldenEye,
such
dude.
a big
Oh,
role in
yeah.
my
Yeah.
life.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we would just play it with 4 players
Hours.
all
A
the
lot
time.
of
dude.
man hours
Oh my
spent
God, dude.
just dominating that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things about like Brosnan and Brosnan I think rules. I think Brosnan's great.
I like the Brosnan movies.
And
Crushes his
He's
Bond.
this like devilishly handsome guy, but then he's also like not afraid to be such a ham. Is what I really like about him.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he's hammy in those movies, and those are some of the hammier ones, especially like Die Another Day. You know?
Yeah.
And then if you look at it, it's like after that, Brosnan was never meant to be like a movie star. He's like a fantastic character actor.
Yeah.
He's just got movie star looks.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like you watch
Have you
it-
not seen Mrs.
Yeah,
Doubtfire?
he's-
dude? Like,
yeah,
he's been
Mrs.
killing
Doubtfire.
for years.
Yeah.
Did you ever see The Foreigner with Jackie Chan?
No,
Not for a
Dude.
long ass time.
It's
but-
like I think it's underrated, and it's like it's the whole movie is like Jackie Chan's like the shark from Jaws, and he's just like coming after Pierce Brosnan, and Brosnan has this heavy like Irish accent. He's like this Chinese man is running circles around you. And he's so cool in that movie.
How about is it the Thomas Crown Affair or
Yeah?
something like
Oh,
that? That's
yeah.
a good movie. Yeah.
Dante's Peak, dude, during
Oh
that
yeah, Dante's
that
Peak, baby.
catastrophe movie
Yes,
era.
yes,
Fucking
with Linda Hamilton. I'm pretty
was
sure.
she in
I'm
Dante's
pretty
Peak
sure.
in a
Yeah, she
pro?
was.
Yeah, she's the co-star.
I even like in Mamma Mia how he's a bad singer. I think that's cool. I think it's like
I've never seen
that.
when he's singing like it could be so nice, and you can see like in his face he's like really straining, like trying to get like these
Right,
notes out.
right.
But you know, I think more bad singers should be in musicals. I think it's
Brosnan's
cool.
the man, dude.
It is weird how like every Bond era, it's like the first one is like great, and then they do kind of start getting progressively worse and worse and worse until like the last one. I think with every era,
with the Craig ones, Quantum of Solace, huge downgrade.
Quantum of Solace was by far the worst James Bond movie ever made,
and then I think
hated it.
Skyfall's better.
Skyfall's better.
Yeah,
but I don't even remember what was the very last one.
No Time to Die.
I hated it with a burning passion. Dude. Oh my god, hated everything about it, dude.
Yeah,
it stinks. The Craig movies, the Craig era stinks. The first one's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the first one. I like Skyfall a lot.
Yeah, Skyfall was pretty good. Quantum of Solace was when the writer's strike happened.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig and like some other guy like had to like write the rest of the movie. And I mean, it shows. It's terrible.
Turns out Daniel Craig's not the best screenwriter.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. Yeah, no, I don't know. Those movies were a huge fucking disappointment to me. So so I guess we'll see. Maybe Bezos will fucking bring it back to fucking.
I mean, I genuinely think they should wait like 10 years. Because like, I mean, can we spoil No Time to Die?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Whoa! They killed them in the movie. The first time James Bond has died.
Yeah, and it's like
let him rest for a while. The body's still warm. You know?
Yeah, I can't handle killing James Bond at the end of the movie. I can't handle James Bond turning into a family man and shit, dude. I'm sorry, dude. It stinks.
They neutered him, dude.
It stinks, dude. I'm sorry. It stinks. I can't do it.
James Bond should have that Stavros Halkias lifestyle. It should just be.
You know, I for one am happy they got rid of the toxic masculinity and some of the more problematic aspects of James
womanizing
Bond.
Aspect. It's just like he was an ice cold guy. He was a killer. It was a literal assassin.
Yeah,
but he
it's
met
like,
a woman who warmed his heart, Ross. God damn it.
People are mad that James Bond doesn't fully respect women. He also murders people. Like, are we going to talk about that first? Yeah. Before we get to his promiscuous lifestyle?
Yeah, I had a lot of fucking issues with a lot of those movies. Obviously, I'm still angry about it. As a diehard Bond fan for many years.
Did you ever see that old Casino Royale with like Peter Sellers?
No.
Like David Niven. That movie's wild.
I don't even actually know about
There's
that.
like 9 James Bonds in it. And it was like, I think before Eon started, I think it's before Dr. No came out.
Yeah.
And it's like a comedy. You got like Peter Sellers is one of the James Bonds.
Okay.
David Niven. Woody Allen is one of the James Bonds.
Interesting.
Like, my name is Bond. I'm James Bond. And it's like, it's ridiculous. And then Orson Welles plays Lashif. He's the bad guy. It's like insane. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I don't know. I just wanted you to be aware that it exists.
Dude, I wasn't aware that it existed, actually. Yeah,
it's not so much good as it is something that's a thing.
It's like a thing, and it's worthy to like be like, oh, that happened.
Yeah.
You need to know your history so that we don't repeat it.
Seriously, yeah.
You know, the original Casino Royale, the Holocaust, you got to know about all this stuff.
Yeah, equally terrible. What was the one, though, where it's not... It's fucking, they bring back Connery, but it's not, it's basically
Never Say Never Again.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's why it was titled that, because he said I'll never again play James Bond, and then it's basically Thunderball. It's the same plot as Thunderball. Yeah.
And he's like 60 years old in that movie.
Yeah. Well, because he comes back in Diamonds Are Forever after the Lazenby one. Yeah. That was the last one or whatever, and I can't remember it anyway, but he's old as fuck.
How do you feel as Lazenby getting replaced, getting usurped by the original Bond?
Yeah.
That's a tough
they
look.
fired him. They just straight up fired
like
George
Lazenby.
You're not cutting the mustard.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And they offered Sean Connery a huge paycheck to come and do Diamonds Are Forever.
Poor George, dude.
I know.
He got movie
robbed.
And went, never mind. Sean, come back.
And it's one of the best, like, actual like plots and like, you know,
dude, dramatically that movie
that movie rules.
Destroys me a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because spoiler alert, it's only been out for 75 years or whatever now. But his lady dies or whatever at the end, and like and
it's one of the few where like he does fall in love.
Yeah,
you know, and it doesn't work out. Unfortunately,
she dies so they can move on to the next movie. Like, let's get it right.
He's got to fuck somebody else in the next movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Those movies were great, and I guess we'll see. This is definitely huge news here about fucking Bezos. Just
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think Bezos actually has any affiliation with Amazon, though. Isn't he kind of out? I think he's gone.
I don't know. Yeah, you guys will know more than me.
I think he's done, man.
Yeah. I guess he did probably. I don't know. It's like Bill Gates and Microsoft. Like he just doesn't actually do anything.
He's in
Don't get me started on Bill Gates.
No, I'm not getting you started on Bill Gates. We're asking, does Jeff Bezos actually have anything to do with Amazon, like in the actual company now, or is he just?
He delivered my package the other day.
As far as I know, he's officially retired.
Yeah.
They do contact him for advice on the business, but he's officially retired and he lives on that yacht that he built, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's coming back to fucking reboot the Bond franchise.
So let me check to see what he's up to lately.
He lives on a yacht, something a Bond villain would not do at all.
Definitely would not do. Yeah. Goddamn. What's your favorite Bond movie, though? Let's just go around that real quick. You got a favorite?
That's a great question.
There's a lot. It's a hard one, I know.
I think License to Kill.
Ooh.
Because I think Dalton's my favorite.
He's good. Yeah,
I think
underrated.
He really straddled that line where he's kind of fun and also kind of dark.
I was gonna say those are kind of a little bit darker, both of those movies.
I think Bond needs to be a little bit of a sociopath.
Yeah.
And I think he really kind of nails that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's some good ones. My favorite might actually be GoldenEye, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucking love GoldenEye.
That's awesome.
I also love Dr. No. I don't know. They're all fucking killer, dude.
Yeah. yeah, Goldfinger, you know.
Yeah, Goldfinger's like kind of like the one.
That one's awesome.
That's really kind of one of the best ones. I got all the books here somewhere. They're
I think, you got all the Ian Fleming.
Yeah, I
books.
got all the OG books.
I think an underrated one is actually A View to a Kill.
I was gonna say View to a Kill.
Chris Walken did?
He's so good. Dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it. And because also fucking he plays this character Bond undercover. His name's St. John Smythe. So I'm like, do you remember all this material? St. John Smythe.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you. And at the horse, it's all a fucking horse racing thing or whatever. It's so good. And there's that fucking black supermodel chick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? She was like famous, Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Bond girl. Yeah.
Probably the first one, honestly.
Yeah.
At that era. Yeah. Yeah, that's good shit. You guys watch anything else? There was one movie I did want to bring up, To Catch a Killer. You guys seen this yet or something like that?
No.
It just came out on Netflix.
No.
It's pretty fucking out of control. I liked it a lot. It's just like it's kind of a fucking cop, FBI. It's a little bit Silence of the Lambsy or something like that.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
The dude, like... it's that guy who's in he's in Star Wars. And he was in that. He was in a different HBO show.
He's good.
The
Ben
villain
Mendelsohn.
dude is in a bunch of shit. Anyway, it's definitely worth watching. I thought it was pretty fucking bad.
Ben
This is
Mendelsohn kicks ass.
Is this on streaming, this one?
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, I love a good procedural. You know, I love movies about people that
That's
are
what
good
it
at their
is.
jobs. Like, you ever see Michael Mann's Miami Vice movie with Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell,
didn't
Jamie
actually.
Foxx.
Yeah.
That movie,
Is it good?
I think it was not appreciated when it came out,
Right,
and then now
yeah.
it kind of is a cult following.
Right.
Because Michael Mann was
Mann rules.
he was one of the guys who created the original. He was the executive producer of the original Miami Vice show.
Right, yep.
And then he made the movie.
Yeah.
And this movie's you think it's gonna be a fun Lethal Weapon buddy cop movie, and it's
Yeah.
they're just so serious and they're sad. It's about how being an awesome guy is actually really sad. And
It's really hard to be a cop in Miami.
yeah. And most of the movie's not even in Miami, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's it's shot in this hyper digital style,
Right.
And it looks insane. And the opening scene, it starts off just black screen, and then the first thing you hear is "Numb Encore" by Jay-Z and Linkin Park, and it starts in this nightclub, and you're right into the movie, and it's awesome.
Man's the man.
Yeah, dude, Collateral.
As it were.
Yeah.
Collateral's great.
I
Once
like
you watch
Jamie
that,
Foxx. I like
Heat's a
both these
fucking
guys.
banger, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched Thief for the first time with James Caan, which is his first movie.
Oh,
And it
okay.
takes place in Chicago.
Nice.
And
haven't seen
James
that for
Caan and
fucking
Jim Belushi
ages.
play a pair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice,
it's
dude.
super good. If you like a good Chicago movie,
Mid 80s or something.
yeah, mid to late 80s. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, this one's really
that's
good.
dope. That
Early
poster's
80s.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking sweet.
He's one of those guys who came out the bat because all of his movies are crime movies about stoic guys in the city who are really good at what they
Yeah.
do, and also they're sad. That's all these movies. Because Heat is all about Pacino and De Niro are on
Yeah.
opposite sides a lot, but they bond over how they're both kind of sad.
Indeed.
Man knows
That's
his
really
lane.
funny,
He's
man.
staying in it too. Like a fat
I went to
dude.
see his new Ferrari movie, and then guess what? Turns out Enzo Ferrari was sad.
He's very sad as well.
The movie, you're like, oh, this guy's very sad.
That's fucking funny.
How was
as
that?
hell.
I haven't seen it yet. It's been
I
in the
liked
queue
it.
for a hot minute.
I
yeah.
liked it. I do think it's funny. I kind of hate when movies do this, though. It's kind of funny, but it's like in the context of the movie, there's like in the universe, they're speaking Italian, right? But they don't want to make a movie where they speak Italian the whole time.
Yeah.
So instead, Adam Driver and everybody is just like, oh, they're talking like this all the time. And I'm like, why do the Italian accent if you're just going to speak English? You know? Like that always kind of throws me.
It adds authenticity, dude.
Yeah, it's that or like I don't know, when Gladiator 2 came out, people were like, why is Denzel talking like a black guy from New York? I'm like, I don't know, none of them would speak English. Like
Yeah,
who cares?
right.
Like we like accept British to be like
Did you see Gladiator 2?
I did.
You're the only person I've actually met who actually saw it.
that was a Thanksgiving with my family watch.
Yeah,
we went to the
yeah.
theater to see that together.
Seems like it really came and went. I heard it was pretty terrible. What do you have thoughts?
you know, I think I dozed off at one point. But
That's
not
a
bad.
real
Great sign right there. Yeah.
It's actually when Denzel's on screen, he's like electric. Like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
And then the main
Yeah, good for
guy,
him.
I think the main guy is like kind of like take him or leave him. He's no Russell Crowe. You know?
Yeah, indeed. No, nobody is. Let's be fair.
Nobody
It's
is.
fighting around the world.
Russell- yeah.
The last
South
one I'll
Park.
fucking bring up that I just watched that I don't think we actually talked about on the pod is I finally just watched Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh,
the vast epic. B-Dub was saying it's one of his favorites of all time.
It's a great movie.
It's considered one of the best movies ever made.
Heck
And it was
yeah.
just. It was awesome. It was a freaking good ass movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It was 3.5 hours long.
It's
or whatever,
epic.
dude. Riding through the desert. This guy's clearly gay. Like, like Peter O'Toole.
He was
or whatever,
definitely
dude.
gay.
Definitely gay, dude.
This is David Lean.
It was
this?
just.
He was a beautiful man.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, no, I fucking loved it. Honestly, I thought it was fucking.
You ever seen
sweet.
that A Lean Night video? The guy who's like, when he's like, it's this old video. It's like in black and white. And this black guy going like, he was like, I came over to my girl's place. They're watching something. I was like, what are you watching? She was like, Legend of Bagger Vance. I was like, get that bull off the TV. I brought some DVDs over. And she's like, what'd you bring? And I'm like, it's like Dr. Zhivago,
Yeah.
Bridge on the River Kwai,
Right,
Brief
right,
Encounter,
right.
A Lean Night. And somehow it's like stuck in my brain forever.
That dude's Dr. Zhivago or whatever, right? The guy who plays his like the second
Yes.
star. Because it's the same director or whatever that made
Yeah,
this.
David
Later
Lean.
made. Yeah, okay.
That's why A Lean Night.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. I
And then,
didn't know that.
the guy with the mustache, Omar Sharif.
Yes.
Is that yeah?
Yep. First, like, famous
dude.
Egyptian movie star. There. I went down a little bit of Wikipedia
Yeah.
rabbit hole on this afterward there. So
I feel like movies back then, I sound like a boomer, but like a big epic movie of this looks so much cooler than
Yeah,
like any
it
like
really
than, like
does, dude.
Avengers Endgame.
yeah,
you know?
the actual like it's like, oh, this is actually in the fucking desert.
Yeah.
This is
They
like-
didn't have to pay for like medical
Yeah.
injury and injury
Yeah,
stuff.
dude,
But they
yeah.
just
Look at
paid
that,
people
though.
cash
No,
and
guys
said,
died sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. They just paid them money and said,
Stuntmen
"Be
were
in the
blown
movie."
up, you know, like
You can feel the fucking scale of it though. Like not to be too much of a
They can't
douche,
get
but,
that
like,
many people in movies.
Oh, and
they have
fucking
extras
Obi-Wan
now.
Kenobi. I was so
Yeah, Alec
goddamn
Guinness.
phased because I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
Oh.
And immediately when he started talking, I was like, "Oh, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi."
Dude, he's Bridge on the River Kwai. You gotta see too.
Okay, I
That
was-
was really
That's
good in that.
amazing.
Yeah, these I was watching like I mean it's later than this, but last year I was watching Dance with Wolves, and there's this
Beautiful
one-
flick.
and there's this shot of like hundreds of buffalo running over a hill. And I'm like that. Like I watched Avengers Endgame. I enjoyed it, but I'm like
Yeah.
I'm not like in awe. You know,
Yeah.
I see
It's
these
like,
buffalo on a hill. I'm like, holy shit! Like I've got like tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
Dances
You know,
with
dude.
Wolves fucking crushes, dude. Costner just fucking
Yeah,
knocks it
I'm a
out.
huge
Just
Costner
knocks
fan.
it out of the park.
There you go. There you go. Well, we better kind of wrap this up because I know you're fucking going up here in a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Grin, so I don't want to keep you. Make sure you don't fucking miss your spot.
Thanks for
Fucking,
having me, guys.
Yeah, man.
It was a fun time.
So
Appreciate you sneaking it in before the
yeah,
show.
for sure, for real. What's the I don't know, what's the Insta? Where can people follow you? What's the move?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Johnny Mocny Comedy.
Cool.
I have two podcasts. I have Chinese Rocket Force with Louis Michael. That's on YouTube and Spotify.
Very racist.
Yep, it's a very problematic podcast. We just had Sam Talon on recently,
Sick.
and we also had current gubernatorial candidate Sheriff Chris Swanson on
Wow,
a few episodes
Yeah,
ago.
cool.
Well played, sir.
And so we have that. I have another podcast called We Are Movies. It's a movie podcast.
Hell
and,
yeah.
I'll just I'm around. you can catch me around
Sick.
on Instagram. I'll post my dates and stuff. So yeah.
Right on,
Kelly,
man.
dude.
Yeah, dude, that was a fucking good chat. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
out.
thank you guys.
All right. Later, y'all.
Peace. Bye.